Yeah. Oh, let's talk about your New York Times piece.
Okay.
Yeah. So how did you come to? So it was an op-ed, which means that it's an opinion piece. And
Right.
does that mean that you're nominated, or do you just write something in the hopes that it gets picked up? Like, how does that work?
So you write something and you submit it to the opinion editor.
Okay.
And you see if they like it, if it's an opinion piece that they want to run.
Okay, so
Yeah.
And the New York Times said yes. That's cool that they did that, because they're now considered very leftist. Like the way people view Breitbart and think, oh well, that's not real news. We kind of now view that. Well, not everyone, but many people consider New York Times in the same category as the Washington Post, and it's all very left.
Right.
But it sounds like the fact that they gave you a chance, credit where credit is due, right?
Oh yeah, I think that it was wonderful that they ran it. And then a few months later, they ran an article by my colleague at Human Coalition, Lori Zala, who talked about the connection between economics and abortion. But what was interesting is that while the editorial board at the New York Times was very level-headed about accepting the piece, and I mean, really, it was an opinion editorial. So they were placing my opinion in the opinion section as an opinion. Like it wasn't like they were saying, this is our editorial board's opinion.
Exactly.
But it's so funny
because
because
you submitted it. Yeah.
Exactly. And I as a representative of the pro-life movement, submitted a pro-life opinion. Like this is not rocket science, but the subscriber base lost their minds over it, and some people canceled their subscriptions and stuff because, which is really sad, because you subscribe to a newspaper with an opinion section, but you don't want to hear opinions other than your own. So if you want to live in an echo chamber, and that's not a world that I want to be part of.
An echo chamber. Yeah.
Yeah.
So stupid. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Do you think right now is a good time, just to go back to the political side of things, do you think it's a good time right now for those who consider themselves conservatives or a faith-based people? Because right now, with Donald Trump as president, being pro-life is still considered ridiculous, but I think there's more of a voice now. You have people like Ben Shapiro, who's a fabulous debater and representative for the conservative movement and for abortion. People like Milo Yiannopoulos, controversial figures, are now cool kind of thing. But they're the Eminem of now, whereas Eminem was cool because he was anti-establishment. But now being an upright moral citizen is like teetering on being naughty and being bad. Like, it's like what Paul Joseph Watson says. What does he say? Conservatism is the new counterculture.
So triggered as when I tweeted, conservatism is the new counterculture. So I tweeted it again, and again, and again, and again.
I'm triggered.
Seriously, I know the word triggered gets overused now, but this was a deluge of butthurt. What are they so afraid of?
Do you remember that?
Oh, for sure.
It's so true.
I love being a millennial in this particular period of history, because I feel like our time is coming. Our views are coming back into vogue.
Thank
and
you, Lord.
It's so fun to be rebellious against the establishment and the mainstream.
We feel naughty.
I know, right? I mean, but look at Ben Shapiro. I mean, he has his podcast is downloaded like 500,000 times every single day, and his website that he started from scratch. The Daily Wire. I think he has some crazy 100 million views a month or something. Like it's just insane the amount of traffic that he's getting, and it speaks to the fact that we don't have to. Our generation doesn't have to rely on these few handful of networks that the older generations tend to think that that's where all the news and media comes from. No, we're turning to the people that we agree with, and they happen to be people like Dave Rubin and Ben Shapiro, and we have this great. I think the millennials have open mind.
Sorry, Dave Rubin is pro-life, but he's not a wanker. He's he's pro-choice. Sorry, I meant to say that he's pro-choice, but he's not a wanker. Like he listens. He's just a great guy. But he's
great.
So you are pro-life, I'm pro-choice. I would describe myself at this point, I'm begrudgingly pro-choice. I think that
To which point?
From everything I have read, I think that basically until 20 weeks. At 20 weeks, they've done enough studies that they know that that fetus can feel pain, basically. And that I would say at that point, I mean, this is where...
So you're not actually pro-choice, right? I mean, you're pro-life beyond 20 weeks. Right?
So,
I mean, because people who proclaim they're pro-choice are generally pro-choice all the way to point of birth.
No,
right?
I've had people on the show who have told me that literally till the week before a 9-month term they're pro-choice.
That's in the Democratic Party platform, yeah.
Is it quite in the Democratic Party platform?
It's at the point of birth. Is in the Democratic Party platform.
That really is.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so
it's
that,
pretty radical.
So that to me, that's true radicalism. Like,
he has people on and he lets them say what they think without knocking them down. He just lets them talk, and that is what the mainstream media doesn't allow. They edit everything. Exactly. We just want to know. I think people discredit millennials. I think that we are pretty open-minded, and we will lean conservative if someone lets a conservative sit in front of us and tell us what they think and why they think it, and let us think for ourselves. We've had everything just edited out for us and packaged up in a pretty little box and handed to us and said, here, this is what you need to believe, by the mainstream media our whole lives, and by the Disney Channel and everyone else that was feeding us information. And I'm glad that we're finally having a chance to think for ourselves.
Yeah. Don't you think, I just lost it. Crap. That's all right. I'm going to go to a different subject matter. It's not what I was going to say. But wouldn't you say, have you ever been told that you are a recipient of white privilege?
Not to my face, but I'm just familiar. Yeah, I'm familiar with the people who are told that. Yeah.
I was just curious because you're married to a Latino. You're married, and you probably hear a lot of Spanish in your household. So I'd love to know, like, when people are saying to you, "Oh, how dare this Lauren Enriquez woman write that she's pro-life? Oh, she's just a white. Oh, hang on, she's married to a brown-looking person. Can't use that argument. Let me formulate a better attack."
Yeah, there was one person on Twitter, and I don't even remember, like, I block out so many of these interactions but from my brain, but I don't even remember how this conversation started, but one guy was like, you're only for like border patrol, or, you know, this was during the refugee crisis when there was a threat of a lot of Islamic radicals coming in and being a threat to the United States. This person on Twitter, he was accusing me of not being compassionate or something, and I responded by saying, right, exactly. And I said, well, my husband's a brown immigrant, you're going to have to try harder than that. That was basically the end of the conversation.
Because what they do is they don't know how to properly give a structured rebuttal. They condemn you, and that's the quickest way to win an argument. Rather than formulate a structured response, they can't do that. So it's like, oh well, you're a Nazi, you know.
Yeah, right. The ad hominem attack is the only thing that people know anymore, and that's logically fallacious. So it doesn't work, you know.
It's so stupid. It's funny though. It's really entertaining.
It is.
I get hate on Twitter here and there. It happened actually quite recently. I can't remember what I said. I said something to someone, and then someone attacked me, a feminist. And she goes, "Oh, you fucking idiot!" Like, it was, you know, I don't swear very often, but like, it was an attack on me specifically for something that I said. I don't even recall what it was. And then I wrote back and I said, "Oh, you're attacking me, and what is your argument though? You calling me a fucking idiot, but I actually don't know what your argument is." And
exactly.
I said something like, "There are new rules now on Twitter. I wonder what would happen if I decided to report you." I wasn't gonna report her though. Like, I'm not that weak. I'm not that weak. But she blocked me immediately.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, and
she got scared. She got so scared.
I would love to get into these people's minds and like actually get down and dirty and like have a conversation with these people and really like try to understand what their rationale is. But I'm beginning to think there is no rationale.
It's like what we were saying before. They want to live they don't want to be faced with the moral dilemma, because then it means they have to question everything they once believed in, and they'd rather, I think, live in ignorant bliss. That's what I think anyway. Maybe not all of them, but like, many people on the left do become red-pilled, which is a good thing.
Oh yeah.
And many people that are right need to be red-pilled a little too. Like, let's be fair. But yeah, it's very disappointing. So I was gonna ask you a question regarding abortion again. So, what if someone said to you, "Oh, well, what if your child was raped?" Like, someone said to me one time, "What if you had a 12-year-old daughter and she was raped? Would you make her have the baby?" How would you respond to that? Because that is an argument that I struggle with, because I don't want her to have on her conscience years later that I made her kill her baby.
Right.
But her little body shouldn't be having a baby either. So how would you say? What am I trying to say? How do you respond to that? Because that's the best they can come up with, and that's probably one of the only arguments I would be willing to listen to.
Right. Well, first of all, I think if people can't come to an agreement on what to do in cases of rape, you can always offer, okay, say I give you the 1 to 2% of pregnancies that result from rape.
Well, I'm
and
an
abortion.
Interrupt and say that if I was raped, I wouldn't abort my baby.
Okay, yeah.
I personally don't think I could do that because I wouldn't false a child. But that's given I'm not 12. Sorry, keep going.
Yeah, so I'll tell you how I would respond, but first I want to say, if someone does bring the rape case to you,
tell me.
offer to give them the rape cases. Say, okay, say that even though I would never do this, say that I gave you that 1 to 2% of abortions that occur because somebody was raped.
Exactly.
Would you agree that all other abortions are wrong? They will never say yes.
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, people use the rape argument. Right. So with that said, abortion will never unrape the little girl. It won't undo the harm that has been done. It will cause another greater injustice to be done, not just to the child, but also to her. So the rape was a horrible, horrible injustice. We have to start by saying that was a horribly immoral thing that happened to you. You do not deserve it. There's in no world of karma or anything does anyone deserve to be raped.
No.
I kind of lean toward the Ben Shapiro position on this, that rapists should be imprisoned for life, that's definitely castrated. Like, I mean, the highest punishment possible should be given to the perpetrator. But the young girl, this is a horrible position that she finds herself in, and there's going to be a level of growing up that's required that shouldn't be required of her. Not because of the pregnancy, but because she went through this horribly traumatic experience. A lot of times people that small will end up having to deliver via a C-section because they're just not large enough to give birth naturally. I mean, it's just a horrible, no one can deny how horrible it is, for the child to have to go through that. And a lot of times, either her parent will have to raise the child will have to be placed in foster care or adoption. I mean, a 12-year-old can't necessarily raise a child. So you're faced with all these dilemmas, but at the end of the day, the human life does not have value based on how it was conceived. And so there's no rationale for ending the human life based on who its father is or how it was conceived, but we can still acknowledge that it's horrible that this happened. And also acknowledge that the abortion is not going to do anything to remediate what happened to the young girl in the rape.
I completely agree with everything you just said. And also, who are the lefties claiming the moral standing here anyway? When they defend people like Lena Dunham, who molested her own little sister when she was little, and people like Roman Polanski, who raped like a 13-year-old girl, like they don't have right on their side. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying everyone on the right is perfection. They're not, and I don't even know if I would say I'm outright on the right. I'm certainly a conservative, but they don't have they should not be on this soapbox because they are crumbling. It's ridiculous. Like the
cognitive dissonance is astounding, and the hypocrisy.
Cognitive dissonance is the perfect word to describe the left.
Yeah, for sure. It's sad.
It's really sad. I was recently watching Don't Persecute Me, but I do love watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
No, funny story. One of my guy friends who's like in his 30s texted me the other day about some Planned Parenthood episode on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. And I was like, how how did you know about this? And he was like, oh, my wife was watching it, and I was in the room. I was like, right.
I was going to do a response video to this episode because what I was literally about to say to you was that Kim and Courtney are ringing the sister Chloe. They're like, hey, are you pro-choice or are you pro-life? And then Chloe's like, oh, I think I'm pro-choice, but I'm not for abortions. And then Kim's like, yeah, I think I agree. Let's go to Planned Parenthood and see what they're about. And
I wonder how much Planned Parenthood paid them for that.
Oh my god, I know. And the episode was butterflies, and there was just the Planned Parenthood that they portrayed just seems like such a fairyland. You know, they had this pretty Asian lady sitting down telling her story, and she's like,
I'll go next. I'm Madeline. I'm 30. 4 years ago, I found myself pregnant. I had missed one pill, as so many women often do.
Yeah, so I was gonna get an abortion because, you know, my partner and I we weren't expecting it to happen so quickly.
I was in a very new relationship. We hardly knew each other, and I was at the peak of my career. I was traveling a whole lot, and so it just wasn't gonna work for me. I scheduled an appointment at Planned Parenthood to get an abortion.
And then I went to get it done, and, you know, the abortionist said, you know, he didn't feel good about it. He's like, no, you know what? I'm gonna give you another day just to think about it.
And I started to have second thoughts, and when I went in, the doctor sensed my hesitation, and she's like, you are so early in your pregnancy. Go home, take the night to sleep on it. And I actually insisted. I was like, I'm already here. I'm just nervous. And she didn't budge.
Now comes the part where we throw our heads back and laugh. Ready? Ready!
Said, it's not happening today. My conscience isn't going to let me do this, so go home. 8 months later, I had my son. And he's incredible. He's the coolest little dude, and I can't imagine my life without him. So had I gone anywhere else other than Planned Parenthood, he wouldn't be here today.
I certainly did enjoy that. And
He's crying.
No,
I don't
stop
get
it. That did not happen.
That so does not happen at Planned Parenthood.
No.
And then she goes, yeah, 9 months later, I'm a mom, you know, because they're just so moral, you know. He had me, he just, literally that's what happened. And then the other women there were about the mammograms. But, well, apparently, I don't know how much these actors were paid, but, I've watched enough hours of YouTube and read enough to know that, even on The View, Sherry Shepherd was talking to Whoopi, saying, I went to a Planned Parenthood and they get you in there pretty quickly and they don't reassure you at all. It's very cold, very dry. There's no emotion attached. And I've seen enough stories on YouTube where women regret it and then they go back and say, no, I regret taking this medicine that does this thing to your belly, or I don't know, gets rid of some liquid that's in your belly. So they're like, well, it's too late. You're going to have to get it done anyway. And then they go to like a crisis center or a place like maybe the Human Coalition, and then they're like, oh my God, this is okay, don't worry. All you have to do is drink this medicine for the next couple of weeks, and then your baby will be fine. And then the baby's end up fine. These are stories that make me cry. I'm just like, like
I know.
Yeah, and
Planned Parenthood will profit no matter what. Planned Parenthood's motto should be profit no matter what, because they will not do what's best for the woman. In any case, they'll do what's best for their bottom line. And you see it in these testimonials where they're blatantly lying to women. I mean, anyone who understands how progesterone works in pregnancy can understand how an abortion reversal should work. No, but doctors do. The Planned Parenthood doctors know how progesterone works. And they know that if they can flood the system, the pill that women take, it basically cuts off the progesterone, which is what allows the baby to be nourished and to survive. So the abortion reversal, they just flood your system with progesterone, and they try to reverse that process where the progesterone has been cut off. It's not, it's not like, it's not even that hard to understand for a layperson like myself. But Planned Parenthood just acts like it's this pseudoscience that's been pulled out of somebody's, imagination. And no, this is really just how science works. And it is not that complicated, but they will do anything to make sure that word doesn't get out, that these procedures can be reversed, because women do change their minds afterward. And this is the one type of abortion where you have a second chance. They don't offer mammograms, by the way.
Is that actually a lie?
That is a complete lie. Planned Parenthood does not own one
That's
mammogram.
been propagated and perpetuated.
Oh, I know. Cecile Richards has gone on national television twice, I believe, and said that if Planned Parenthood is defunded, women will lose access to mammograms.
Well, even Hillary Clinton said it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of celebrities say it. Even one of the Miss America contestants said it. Like, it's just a huge misconception. But live action, one of their investigations, you can go listen to it. Somebody called like all the Planned Parenthoods in the United States, and every single one of them said, no, we don't offer mammograms. No, we'll refer you for a mammogram. So now Planned Parenthood's line is, no, we never said we offered mammograms. We just mean that we'll refer for a mammogram. But if you go and listen to what they've actually said, they've totally said that they offered mammograms.
Oh my god, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So bad. I can't believe it. I think another thing I was going to mention was that, do you think people like the Kardashians are part of this, or do you think they believe the fairy story that they are involved with themselves? Do you think that fairy story they know, or do you think that there is a sort of a behind the scene thing that we're not aware of, that they know that it is killing and all of that stuff? Because they're all mums.
Yeah, no, I think most celebrities buy into the fairy story. I think they just see the hot pink. I mean, personally, that's what I think.
Ain't at work.
Yeah, they see the hot pink, and it's in vogue, like in Hollywood, in the rest of America, it's becoming popular, like you said, to become conservative and to become countercultural. But in Hollywood, it's still very much the thing to do is to put on a Planned Parenthood pin when you're walking the red carpet at the Grammys, and so, yeah, you very much want to like be in good standing with Planned Parenthood to be a member of the Hollywood elite. And so I think they definitely just buy into the false advertising and the fairy promises that Planned Parenthood makes and promotes. And I just wish that more people would watch the Center for Medical Progress investigations, because they go behind the scenes and show people what really happens once you get past the lobby at Planned Parenthood. And it's horrifying. And if more people would watch that, and if the media would broadcast it, then these illusions would just be crushed immediately.